Around 1790, people in England started to find the need for mechanization and industrialization. Factors such as a growing population, the agricultural revolution, and the French and American revolutions led to the need of industrialization. During the same time period, an agricultural revolution was occurring. The agricultural revolution allowed for more food to be produced. The amount of food produced generated excess that couldn't be stored, which influenced people to have more children. In order to meet the demand of clothes, factories were created to produce items quickly. Urbanization also occurred in these cities where factories were. People moved from rural farmlands to urban cities. Britain had some geographical advantages that led to inventions such as the steam engine in 1765, which helped transition from coal-powered items to other methods of energy such as steam power and water. Since Britain is an island, it had advantages with these resources. This new manufacturing system led to a new division of labor since people began to specialize in certain jobs with the new factory system. Eventually, these ideas and inventions were diffused to other places like Belgium, France, Germany, and especially North America. The Americas had a direct influence from Britain, primarily because Britain used to have colonies there. As a result of the Industrial Revolution, many social changes took place and also new methods of transportation were used. From the new division of labor, a distinct middle class was created, which was good. The middle class helped provide what was in the best interest of the working class. In addition, gender roles also changed. The men gained more responsibility as managers or owners of factories and contributed to a majority of their family's income. On the other hand, the women typically stayed at home with the young children and/or also worked in factories. Once children could fend for themselves, they were sent to work under brutal conditions in factories. Even though child labor was harsh, parents still sent their children to work because they depended on their income to also support the family. New methods of transportation were created to easily and more rapidly transport goods to other markets in order to meet the demand. Many miles of railroad track was laid to allow the steam engine to operate. These jobs were primarily performed by migrant workers in the United States. The railroads allowed cities to be interconnected to industrial cities. In the Americas, things were being widely produced and invented. A prime example of this would be with Eli Whitney's invention of the cotton gin in 1793. The cotton gin helped improve the production of the American textiles. The laboring work originally done by slaves could now be done quicker and much more efficiently and at a cheaper expense. Along with the cotton gin, Eli Whitney came up with the idea of interchangeable parts. Interchangeable parts were key during the Industrial Revolution because they allowed machinery to be repaired quickly and keep production at a steady pace. An economic benefit of this process would be that money was saved by businesses because if the machine broke, the part could be replaced for much cheaper rather than the whole machine. Now that goods could be manufactured in bulk, the cost decreased. This could have to do with the fact that since there was a larger population, the demands were higher. In theory, a company could produce more quicker since the consumers were in a higher demand of the item since prices were lower. The use of child labor in these industrial cities led to political changes. In response, the government created child labor laws which helped protect the children. Children were sent to school rather than work so that they could learn necessary skills for when they were older. The things that are typically less talked about are the bad consequences of the Industrial Revolution. Industrialization led to pollution of the cities and other environmental effects. Factories were constantly being used and they emitted emissions into the air that harmed the environment. Urbanization of cities led to deforestation because the cities had to be expanded to fit the growing population. Soil depletion also occurred since there was a larger population to feed. This resulted in more food being produced to reach the demand of the people. The workers received low wages for their work, even though they worked hard and extremely long hours. This caused problems in society, which led to protests and violence from the working class. On top of the low wages, the workers operated in poor conditions and majority were treated unfairly. At the height of the industrialization period, two of the leading countries, England and the United States, had seen the shift from agricultural-based society to an urban population boom, driven by the growth of industry. The base of this industry in most cases was the unskilled migrant worker. The migrant workers helped industry because the factory owners could pay them less since they were underskilled. In response, jobs were taken away from the workers already there. In all, industrialization changed most of the societies for the better. Cultures were blended and new inventions were created which led to increased global connectivity.